In the small, fog-shrouded town of Black Hollow, every house had a shadow, but none as chilling as the Holloway house on the hill. Legend said it was a place where time froze, and those who entered never returned the same. Lena, a journalist from the city, arrived one autumn evening, chasing whispers of a missing child. As she stepped onto the creaky porch, the door opened with a long, agonizing groan. Inside, the air was thick, and every step echoed like a heartbeat. As Lena explored, she found a series of old photographs, all showing a smiling boy in a red jacket, but his face grew paler in each picture until his eyes were hollow voids. Then she heard a whisper, faint, like a child calling from a long corridor. Determined, she followed the sound up to the attic, where a dusty cradle rocked on its own. And in that moment, Lena realized the house wasn't just haunted, it was a prison. The boy wasn't lost. He was waiting for someone to set him free. When she reached out to touch the cradle, a cold hand gripped hers, and the attic spun into darkness. When morning came, the house was still, but Lena was gone, and the whispers kept calling. When morning came, the house was still, but Lena was gone, and the whispers kept calling. They slipped through the cracks in the walls, slid beneath the doors of empty rooms, and drifted down into the cellar, where the air smelled of damp earth and rust. The town woke as it always did, slowly, cautiously, but no one dared look toward the hill. Black Hollow had learned long ago that curiosity was a hunger the house gladly fed. But Lena was not entirely gone. She woke in darkness, lying on cold wooden boards. Above her, the attic ceiling loomed, yet something was wrong. The cradle stood still now. Dust floated in the air like frozen stars. The silence pressed against her ears until she realized she could not hear her own breathing. "Help me," the whisper came again. This time it was clearer. Across the attic, a boy stood near the window. The red jacket from the photographs was faded, almost gray, but unmistakable. His face was pale, eyes deep and shadowed, not hollow, but filled with a sorrow far too old for a child. "You came," he said softly. Lena tried to move, but the floor beneath her rippled like water. The walls stretched higher, the attic expanding into an endless corridor lined with doors. Each door bore a name scratched into the wood. Some were nearly erased by time. Others looked fresh. At the far end, she saw her own name. "This house keeps what it's given," the boy whispered. "It feeds on fear, on regret, on promises broken." "Who are you?" Lena managed to ask. "My name is Oliver," he said. "I was the first." The corridor trembled. A deep groan rolled through the structure, not of wood and nails, but something alive shifting in its sleep. The doors began to rattle. From behind them came muffled sounds, soft crying, distant pleas, scratching. "The house doesn't like when I speak," Oliver said quickly. "It made me call others. It made me lonely so I would bring it company." Realization struck Lena like ice in her veins. The whispers were bait. The missing children, the travelers, even curious townsfolk, they had all answered the call. "How do we stop it?" she demanded. Oliver's gaze drifted upward. "There is a heart," he said, "buried beneath the roots. It beats in the dark. If it stops, everything stops." The floor split open before them, revealing a spiraling staircase descending into blackness. The house roared, a deafening sound that shook the corridor apart. Doors burst open, releasing shadows that crawled along the ceiling like smoke. Lena grabbed Oliver's hand. It was icy, but solid. Together they ran down the staircase as the walls collapsed behind them. The air grew colder, heavier, until each breath felt stolen. At the bottom lay a cavern of tangled roots twisting through stone. In the center pulsed a mass of black wood and bone. shaped like a heart. It thudded slowly, each beat echoing through the house above. The shadows poured down the stairs. "You must do it," Oliver said. "It won't let me." Lena looked around desperately. Half buried in the earth was an old iron shovel, rusted but intact. She seized it and drove it into the heart. The beat faltered. A scream ripped through the cavern, not from Oliver, not from Lena, but from the house itself. The roots lashed out, slamming against the walls. The shadows shrieked and dissolved like ash in wind. Lena struck again, and again. With a final, shattering crack, the heart split open. Darkness flooded outward, then collapsed inward, imploding into silence. Light burst through the cracks in the ceiling. Lena found herself lying on the hill beneath a pale morning sky. The Holloway house was gone. In its place stood only a hollow foundation filled with dirt and broken stone. Beside her stood Oliver, no longer pale, no longer fading. The red of his jacket was bright once more. "Thank you," he said, smiling, a real smile this time. Behind them, figures shimmered in the air, faint outlines of those the house had taken. One by one, they dissolved into the sunlight. As the town gathered at the base of the hill, stunned by the empty horizon, Lena felt the wind brush her face. The whispers were gone. Black Hollow would still have shadows, but none of them would ever breathe again.